All right, guys, so we are going to go ahead and we have two documents open at the same time. We have the circling handout practice open from the assignment today, and I also have my PowerPoint from the other day open too. This is just so I have a reference point over here. So what we're going to do is we have done this quite often before. Sorry, sometimes it gets a little crazy. We've done this quite often before, where I show you a sentence on my PowerPoint and then I ask you a whole bunch of questions about it. So this is not a foreign concept to you. You've seen it before, but now we're just going to kind of put it into practice. So we're going to start with a statement. Okay, we're going to start with a sentence from our story. And I'm going to use one of the stories. I'm going to use the story that we had a few days ago, okay? This Tina story, this Tina and an iPhone for her cat story. I'm going to take this sentence here. Tina le da el teléfono iPhone al gato. I'm going to take this sentence and I'm going to use this as my guide sentence here. So I'm going to paste it here. And in order to make it a little bit more simple, I'm just going to take the word iPhone out, okay? So here is my sentence, and I realize you can't see that, so I'm just going to paste it here for just a minute. So the question is, the statement is, Tina gives the phone to the cat, all right? So this is the sentence we're going to start with. The first thing we're going to do, this is called circling. Now, circling is something that we do in Spanish where you ask a lot of questions about one thing. And it's just kind of repetitive because the answer will always give you the same sentence, okay? The sentence the answer will be is Tina gives the phone to the cat. That's always going to be our answer with these questions. So we're going to start by asking a yes question. Now in Spanish, you have to, when you're asking a question, you're going to put the verb first, all right? Well, I guess we should probably go back and we should say, what is a subject? What is a subject? The subject of this sentence is Tina. Okay? The subject of this sentence is Tina. So all of our questions in this section here are going to be about Tina. Okay? Where the only information we're changing is Tina. We're not changing the verb. We're not changing the object. We're not changing who is getting it. We're just changing Tina. Okay. So in Spanish, when we want to write a question, we have to put the verb first. Now, we also know in Spanish that when we're asking a question, we have to have a question mark out front. Now, normally that is an upside down question mark. If for some reason you can't put an upside down question mark in there, I will definitely accept this regular question mark out front because then that shows me that you know a question mark has to go there. You just can't get the regular or the upside down question mark there. I am going to copy mine from this other slide over here. So there we go. So we have our verb first, then we have to put our subject. And the subject for this question is Tina. We know that by the statement that we started up here. Okay, the statement we started up here was Tina gives the phone to the cat. Okay, Tina gives the phone to the cat. So the question that we're asking is, gives Tina the phone to the cat? Question mark at the end. Gives Tina the phone to the cat? Yeah, duh. Okay, so we wrote a yes question. We put our verb first, then our subject, then the rest of the statement. Now this sentence here, this question here is going to be our guide question, okay? So we are going to kind of just make manipulations or make some changes to this question to ask more questions. So we have to write, the next one says either or. So we're going to take this question that we wrote. We have our verb first, gives Tina the telephone to the cat. We want to have an or in here. Now we're going to say, and we know that we have to write this about the subject. So we're not asking anything about the phone. We're not asking anything about the cat. We're asking about the subject. The subject of this statement is Tina. So we're going to say, gives Tina or somebody else the phone to the cat. So this is where we're going to write somebody else's name, maybe George. Sorry. So gives Tina or George the telephone to the cat. Okay, this is a perfect either or question. Wonderful. Now the next one, we have to write a no answer to the question. So we're going to take our first question here, the gives Tina the phone to the cat question. And we know we're still working with the subject here. So we're going to replace the subject. So gives somebody else the phone to the cat? No, nobody else gives the phone to the cat. So we're going to say maybe George here again. I'm just going to use George. He seems easy. So gives George the phone to the cat? That's a no. Then this next one here is a question word. Now we're going to use a question word about the subject. Now in Spanish, the question word is going to come first, and it usually does in English too. So if we're going to ask a question about the subject, would it be what, who, where, how many, or why? Probably who, if we're going to ask about the subject, right? So I'm going to go ahead and copy this who word here and paste it over here. Now, if you were writing your own question and you couldn't add the accent over the E, if you had written something like this, I would accept that because I know that what you're trying to do is that E has an accent. I understand that. That's fine. All right, so the question we're asking is who gives the phone to the cat? And we know because we've answered who questions before. We can replace the word who with the person's name from the statement, and that's it. So the statement was, Tina le da el teléfono al gato. So with our question word, who le da, quién le da el teléfono al gato. This is great. So this question word here goes with the subject. This is perfect. This is wonderful. All right. The next one, we're going to work with the verb. Now in this one's a little bit harder because you don't have very many verbs to work with. So you're going to want to try to write sentences or write questions. You're going to try to write questions with words that you don't know. And that's the struggle because I don't want you to do that. I want you to write questions with verbs or words that you do know. All right? So keep it with me, okay? Don't go Google Translate crazy. All right, so I'm going to take my question and paste it down here. I'm going to take my statement and paste it down here again. I keep messing that up. I'm sorry. And all of these questions are going to be about the verb. Now, this one, we have to get a yes answer. So Tina gives the phone to the cat. We know that in Spanish, in order to write a question, we have to have the verb first and then the subject. Sorry, so le da Tina el teléfono al gato. And I know I need a question mark here. Oops. And a question mark at the end. So gives Tina the phone to the cat? Yes. Okay. We just reordered or reorganized some of the words in the statement in order to write a question. So this is great. So gives Tina the phone to the cat. All right. And we know the next one here, the next one is going to be an either or question. All right. So we're circling the verb this time. Okay. Now this one is tricky because, like I said earlier, you don't have a whole lot of verbs to work with. All right. So this one is going to sound really like almost kind of dumb. Okay. So we're going to ask an either or question. The verb in this statement is le da, gives. All right. So we're going to say gives Tina the phone to the cat, or maybe, how about goes? Okay. It doesn't really make sense. Or maybe has. Okay. Let's use has. That kind of makes more sense. Le da Tina el teléfono al gato, gives Tina the phone to the cat. Then we can say, we can do gives or tiene Tina el teléfono al gato. So in English, if we translate this, this doesn't make any sense. Gives or has Tina the phone to the cat. And this is where I said, like, this is hard because you don't have a whole lot of verbs to work with, right? You could have, if you knew a lot of verbs, you could have said gives Tina the phone to the cat or throws Tina the phone to the cat, right? So here in this instance, it's a little, oh my God, I'm dying, sorry. It's a little bit tricky, all right? So for the no question, what we can do here is we can take our original guide question and we want to replace the verb because that's what we're working with in this section. And we're going to replace it with a verb from over here. And we're trying to get a no answer. And let's see, how can we get a no answer? So let's use goes. Va Tina el teléfono al gato. Again, this doesn't make sense because of the number of words you know. Goes Tina the telephone to the cat. It's okay that it doesn't make sense. It's fine. All right, just go with it. You replaced the verb. You did your best. The last section here, or the last question in this section, is we're using a question word for the verb. So in this one, now we don't necessarily know how to answer this one, but we could say, how gives Tina the phone to the cat? So I'm just copying the word how and putting it in front of everything. How? ¿Cómo le da Tina el teléfono al gato? How gives Tina the telephone to the cat? Or how does Tina give the phone to the cat? We don't know the answer for that. Maybe she gives it to him gently. We don't know. All right. Then we are going to circle the complement. And the complement is basically anything left in the sentence. All right. So we're going to start with a yes question. Okay. The yes question we've already written twice before is gives Tina the telephone to the cat? Or does Tina give the phone to the cat? Yes. All right. So we've written that same question 3 times. The next one we're going to write is an either or question. So we can either, we've already talked about the verb, so we don't need to do that. We've already talked about the subject, so we don't need to do that. And now we can either choose to talk about the phone or the cat. I'm going to choose to talk about the cat. So I'm going to say gives Tina the phone to the cat, or, oh, where's my, there we go. O al perro. Okay. So I'm asking, does Tina gives Tina the phone to the cat or to the dog? Now, I'm not looking for perfection here, so please don't feel like you have to write a perfect question. If there are mistakes, that's great. I love mistakes. It's awesome. All right, we got 2 more, and then we're done. So we're going to get a no answer for this one. I'm going to go ahead and rewrite my cat or dog question, and I'm just going to take out the word cat. Gives Tina the telephone to the dog? Or you could have said something like, gives Tina the elephant to the cat? Gives Tina the cat to the cat? You know, you could have just, like, make it ridiculous. That's fine. All right. And then for the complement, maybe we are going to ask, what gives Tina to the cat? To the dog, sorry. So we're going to say, K, what le da Tina al gato? I'm just going to take this and copy it. Oh. Que le da Tina al gato? What gives Tina to the cat? All right. And that is it. Now, we could add more details with a question. You know, we could have been like, what kind of phone? How many phones? Why? You know, we could have done all of that. But that's being a little bit extra, and we don't need to be extra right now. So we just wrote 12 questions in a matter of less than 15 minutes. All right. Basically, all you're doing is taking your statement and changing the order of the words to make a question. That's all. Happy question writing.